Have you ever wondered why, even when life's technically fine, you've got food, you've got a job, you've got a phone, but you still feel anxious, you still feel restless, you still feel empty? It's because most people are stuck at the lower levels of what they call Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Look it up, guys. You're chasing, people are chasing survival and not fulfillment, right? It's the kind of like a pyramid, right? Where the first level is your basic human needs, just survival, shelter, basic stuff, food. And then once you have all that fulfilled at the lower level, you got to get you kind of level up, and we'll go over those different levels and what those are. But you know, essentially today, we're gonna break it down. I'll talk about how to actually climb to the top of that pyramid in your daily life, right? A little bit more of a background on what this is, what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is. It's a psychology concept, guys. It's something that they talk about in the field of psychology. Um, it's a psychological model. It was created by Abraham Maslow, apparently. Okay, I've taken some notes here for you guys. I'm just writing it down. I'm trying to be organized here for you guys. It's basically a pyramid. Like I said earlier, it's like a pyramid showing 5 levels of human motivation, from the basic survival all the way at the bottom, basic survival, and at the very top, at the top of the pyramid, you have the self. They call it self-actualization. Okay, it explains why some people stay trapped in the survival mode at the bottom of that pyramid, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, while others rise to purpose and to peace at the higher levels. So, what are these 5 levels? Let's go over them. The first level at the very bottom of the pyramid is they call it the physiological needs. Okay? And that at that level, the human being is focused on food, water, shelter, sleep. Think of a homeless person on the streets. That's their focus, the physiological needs. They're just trying to survive, man. They just need the food, whatever they need to do. They got to find that food. They got to find that water. They got to find that shelter at night when it gets cold. You know, they got to find a place to sleep. That's at the very bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's the basic necessities, right? And if you don't have that, that's where you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck, scraping, trying to figure out, how to you're basically trying to survive and stay alive, right? So, if you have all those stuff covered, and only when you have those things covered, confidently and consistently, where you have the food and you have the water and you have the shelter and the sleep, that's only when you can go and start focusing up. You can climb that pyramid and go on to the next level because you got that first level covered, right? So once you have that first level of that pyramid covered, the physiological needs, the next level would be the safety needs, is how they categorize it, right? Now you're looking for stability. You're looking for job security. You're looking for good health, and you're looking for financial safety, right? So the first level was food, water, shelter, sleep, the physiological needs at the bottom of the pyramid. Next level above that is the safety needs, the job stability, job security, your health, your financial safety, right? You can't even focus on. You're not even worried about financial. You can't even be worried about financial safety if you're trying to survive and try to get food, right? Forget about financial safety and security. At the first level, you're just trying to survive. Once you got that down and covered, then you could focus on this next level, right? And then the level above the safety needs is the feeling of belonging and finding love, right? Finding relationships, having family connections, having a community connection, right? Once you have your food, water, shelter down, and your security, your financial, your healthy, and all this kind of stuff, then you could focus on relationships and family and community, right? And it kind of makes sense, right, guys? How can you focus on would you, even logically, would you be worried about finding love and community and friends and connections and stuff if you're way down there at the bottom and, hey, you got to find something to eat or you're going to die? So it makes sense that you can't climb up this pyramid called Maslow's hierarchy of needs in the field of psychology is how they categorize it. If you don't have your physiological needs met, you don't have your safety needs met, you're not really worried about your love and being. That's at the, we're at the middle of the pyramid now, right? The bottom was the physiological needs. The level above that is the safety needs. The level above that is the love and belonging in the pyramid, the middle of the pyramid, love and belonging. If you've managed to find the love and belonging and you feel belonged and you feel comfortable and content with the amount of connections and the community and stuff that you have in your life, the next level above that, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is esteem. This is the second level above the very top. Esteem, you know having the confidence, having the recognition, having the self-respect, right? This is what you kind of start focusing on at this next level. This is the fourth level from the top. This is the second from the top level, esteem. It's where you look for confidence, you look for recognition, you look for self-respect. If you have that covered, then you could focus on the very tippy top of the pyramid in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is called self-actualization. This is where becoming who you're meant to be, finding your purpose, your mastery. So, we have Shaniqua on another YouTube channel. I'm just making up words. Monica, Jacob, or whoever, complaining about, oh my God, I'm going to quit my job, and I don't feel like I'm an entrepreneur, and I don't feel like it. Well, Shaniqua, you just quit your job. How you don't have you're talking about you want a self-actualization and you want to self-actualize, and you don't belong here. You're more of an entrepreneur and you're more of a blah blah blah. Well, guess what you just did when you just quit your job, which was your only source of income, Monique? You don't have financial stability anymore. You're all the way back down at the second to the bottom of the safety needs area again. What are you doing? I mean, if we're going to follow Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's a systematic approach. You gotta make sure all the bottom levels of the pyramid, your foundations are established and those areas are covered before you can climb up to the next one, right? You don't just quit. Well, there's a like I said, there's a right and a wrong way of doing things, guys. I mean, this is another tool in your toolbox, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You got to make sure you have these other things kind of covered for the most part, before you can start. And this is not like a hard rule, right? I'm just providing another tool in your toolbox of mindset and things that you need to kind of think about. And in the field of psychology, they have the psychology's I don't it's not like a hard science. They have the Diagnostic Manual of Mental and Psychological Disorders, the DSM, and it's always that book is always changing. It's not like a one minute something is categorized as a disorder, the next minute it's normal. It's always changing and whatnot. So me personally, I don't really put too much weight on it. But hey, this is still this is something that has always come up as I think about stuff as I go through life, and this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And it's a very interesting concept, and it does kind of, based on my life experiences, my personal experiences, it does kind of make sense that you can't really focus on the higher level self-actualization stuff if you don't have the other bottom basic stuff covered, right? And that's kind of what this Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid talks about, right? So here it says here we jot down, you can't skip steps. You climb one level at a time, but most people stop halfway, right? Level one, let's break it down even more. The level one, the physiological needs at the bottom, this is the foundation. Paying the rent, eating, sleeping, staying alive. When you're stuck there, everything feels urgent. You're always reacting. But here's the key: stabilize the basics without staying stuck, guys. An example: automate your bills, build small healthy routines, sleep properly, guys. If your body and environment are chaos, your mind never leaves survival mode. You got to create systems around the way that you do things out there so that you can automate these processes and not have to be anxious and worry about it all the time, right? Get those things covered. That's everyone, most of my audience, I'm assuming, because you have access to, if you're out there, we're scrounging around for food, trying to find a place to live, You don't have time to be watching no YouTube videos, right? So I'm assuming most of you guys have this covered, right? You got your food, you got your water, you got your shelter, you got your sleep, right? Can you guys improve on those things? Of course, there's always room for improvement, but for the most part, I think you guys are covered there, right? I'm going to go ahead and assume that. Level 2 is a safety, the building of stability. This is about creating predictability, you know. That means saving a small emergency fund, guys. There's statistics saying out there that most people don't even have $1,000 saved in their savings. What are you doing? If that's you, what are you doing? You got to get it together, dude. I mean, you got to. Do you not know how to control your spending habits? $1,000? We can't even. I can't even. I can't even bring. We can't even talk about the rest of the stuff if you guys can't get an emergency fund going. Murphy's law. In my other video, I talk about, if it can go wrong, it will. You guys gotta have some backup funds to handle that stuff. 3 6 months of emergency stuff, right? And always have that ready to go, right? So this building stability step is probably where some of you guys might be at. Saving a small emergency fund, staying consistent with work, maintaining your health. Most people think safety means comfort. It does not mean safety does not mean comfort, guys. It means control. Practical moves here, track your spending. Do any of you guys out there have an Excel sheet where you keep track of how much money that you're making, how much money is coming in every month, and how much money is leaving every month? You don't need apps. You just need an Excel sheet that one column is for your incoming money that's coming in, another column is for your how much money is you're spending, the other column is your labels and all that stuff. I mean, if you guys really want me to build that for you guys, I can get that going for you guys, and you guys just fill it out for yourself. You have to know how much money is coming in monthly, how much money you're spending. You have to know where your money. You have to have control over these things in your life, guys. Track your spending. Start investing small. If you don't even know where the hell your money's going, oh, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I don't even know where my money's going. Shame on you. Yeah, shame on you. You guys gotta control that stuff. Okay? Remove toxic environments that make you unstable, guys. You can't grow in chaos. You gotta start controlling things around you, and there's a way to do that. You have to controlling things around you, meaning that your mind has to know what's going on. You have to be aware of your situation. Not just your surroundings, but your situation, your financial situation. This is a tool. This here, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is a tool to kind of help you assess where, after this video, assess your situation. Where are you at? Like, do an honest assessment. Where am I? Where am I at in this, actually, right? So we just talked about level 2, building stability. Level 3, love and belonging, connection without dependence, right? This is where most people tend to get lost, they say, right? That means saving a small emergency fund, right? Staying consistent with work and maintaining your health. Most people think safety sorry, that's the other one. This is where most people get lost. This level 3 is love and belonging. They crave belonging so badly that they settle for fake friends. You crave belonging so badly that you really that you settle for fake friends. You want to compromise your principles and your morals and your values and everything else for some fake friends because you want to feel like you belong. I don't want to digress, but this is the kind of stuff that people do at this level: shallow validation and attention and loops. I don't care I don't know about you guys. I don't care what people think. I get my validation from my creator. If anyone else wants to get pissed off about how I view things or see things or how I operate, I'm not worried. I'm not answerable to you on the day of judgment. I'm answerable to my creator on the day of judgment. That's just where I stand. So, but like a lot of people don't know where they stand. A lot of people are just wishy-washy all over the place. Chasing shallow validation at this phase, level 3 is love and belonging, connections without dependence, and attention loops, right? But true belonging isn't about being liked, okay? It's about being seen and respected, okay? Practical fixes for this, guys: build 3 to 5 deep relationships. You don't need 10,000 people out there to try to You could think of it as a layered onion. You have close tight knit connection of circle, your tight circle. Then you have your outer circle. Then beyond that outer circle, then you have everyone else outside in the world. You know, you really need you really need very few. You just need very few tight, deep inner circle relationships, right? Choose people who challenge you. You gotta. And if you were to ask me what kind of people I want in my circle, I want people who challenge me. I want people who iron sharpens iron, guys. You don't want to be surrounded by people who are yes men and yes women, and they just everything you do. Yeah, yeah, good job. Yeah, even though you're gonna walk into the fire, self sabotage and destruct yourself, and yeah, good job. No, no. People who challenge you, not just comfort you. Okay, loneliness isn't solved by more people, guys. It's solved by the right ones. Okay, that's level 3. Love and belonging connections without dependence. Level 4 now, we have here noted, is the esteem level, building inner confidence. This stage is about creating self respect through skill and discipline. You don't get esteem from compliments, guys. You earn it by becoming competent. Do you know what the hell you're doing, or do you not know what the hell you're doing? A lot of people like to hand out respect, just willy nilly, like this is some kind of homeless shelter or something, right? Other people are of the mindset that it's something that gets earned. You earn the respect by going out there into the world and proving that, hey, I earned this. Here's my results. This is why I deserve the respect, because I earned the respect. I worked for it. I didn't just get it handed to me freely, right? Respect is earned, not handed out, freely like a Halloween candy or something. So you don't get esteem from compliments, you earn it by becoming competent. That's why working out, mastering a craft, or building something from scratch feels powerful, guys. It tells your brain, I can handle the fire, I can handle life. you know Practical fixes for this, for the level 4 esteem building in an inner confidence. Pick one area: fitness, money, communication, and get good at it, guys. Sharpening your samurai sword, like I talked about in some of the other videos I have out there for you guys, right? Self confidence is the side effect of self discipline. Level 4, esteem building inner confidence. Level 5, once you have that figured out and you got that self respect and you're out there and you're known, hey, if we got to solve this problem, we got to go to that guy or that girl. She knows exactly what she's doing. This is where the top of the pyramid lives: self actualization, level 5. It's not about money or fame, it's about meaning, right? It's when you wake up and your actions align with your values. You stop chasing validation and start creating impact. That could mean starting your own business, mentoring others, creating art, or mastering the field. You move from consumption to contribution. There was another video out there where at the end of the video I gave you guys a really important little tip there. Stop being a consumer, become a producer. When you start making those kinds of moves out there in the world, you're probably headed in this level 5 self-actualization, purpose and fulfillment phase, where you're not just sitting there watching the YouTube videos, or you're not just sitting there consuming and eating. You're actually producing stuff out there for the rest of the world to consume. They're becoming the consumers. They're consuming your stuff, right? So number 8 here, this point number 8 here is the modern trap, really getting stuck in the mid-level comfort, right? Most people get trapped between safety and belonging. From what I've seen, this does tend to be where people get stuck, like between the level, not the bottom where you're surviving, but between like safety needs, stability, job stability, finance, and finding love and all that kind of stuff, and relationships and community and all that stuff. Between those two levels is where I think most people tend to get stuck. They have a stable job, they have a few friends and a comfortable routine, but no deeper fulfillment. It feels safe, but it's silent stagnation, right? You stop growing, years pass by on autopilot. You know, that's why many people feel like something's missing because they just you stop climbing, right? So how do you climb? How do you climb daily? You know, how do you get out of that? How do you climb daily? Here's a practical framework that I would offer and submit to you, and to make it real every single day. In the morning, handle the survival, move, hydrate, and plan. Right. During the daytime, build safety. You know, work, save, stabilize during the day, and then in the evening, invest in belonging. Call someone who matters. You know, you got those 24 hours in a day you can work on daily on getting these things, and I'm helping you break this down on the, you know, from a daily perspective. In the morning, handle the survival. In the daytime, build the safety, the work, save, stabilize. At night, grow the esteem, learn, reflect, improve. If you do that long enough, and self-actualization becomes your lifestyle, it doesn't just become your fantasy. I would submit to you. So, in closing, guys, the pyramid, you guys got to take this tool and you guys got to utilize it, right? The truth is, Maslow's pyramid isn't about theory. You know, you could think of it as a mirror. Use it to as a mirror to look at yourself, right? It shows you exactly where you are and what's missing. It's another way for you to use it to figure out what's missing. You know, where you need to focus on. Climbing doesn't mean being perfect, guys. You know, it means consciously moving forward instead of running in circles. It kind of gives you a framework of focusing your efforts where you need to focus on, right? Because once you reach the top, you stop chasing things and start becoming who you're meant to be. Powerful little psychological little categorization tool that this individual Abraham Maslow created. Look it up, guys. And I would advise you just take a look, just do a little assessment. It's a little pyramid. It's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, use it to try to figure out where you're at, and then let me know in the comments where are you and why, and let's have a conversation about it. You know, so we can discuss it further and break it down some more, figure out what we can do. Right? Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.